Hey guys, AC here, and welcome to my channel Smells Good. I do really appreciate you clicking on the link. And today we're going to talk about a fragrance which is deeply gratifying. You know, it's called Acqua di Parma Colonia Intensa. Deeply gratifying. Why? Because it gives you so much in return that you would be very pleased that you invested in this fragrance. So let me start with. First things first, it's an EDC, but let me allay the first fear. It lasts longer than a lot of EDTs in the market. Very very well constructed, good high quality materials means that this fragrance will last longer. So that's the first fear. The second one is it's an Acqua di Parma, lesser known house, but beautiful fragrance. So let's get into the packaging. So friends, here's a quick look at the packaging and the bottle. The bottle comes with a sort of a rose gold top. The packaging is a yellow packaging, which is, I believe, very similar to the packaging you get with Acqua di Parma, Colonia Classic, and Assoluta, I believe. In terms of atomizer, this has got a terrific atomizer. It gives out a huge burst of juice. Okay, and it says on the bottom eau de cologne 50 ml. Yeah. So there you go. That was the packaging. Spray. I have got a dry down on my right wrist. It's about 2.5 hours. So let's start with beautiful atomizer. Huge burst of juice. So I'll let this settle a bit, and while we do that, let's discuss a little bit about Acqua di Parma Colonia Intensa. Released in 2007, this is a flanker to the original Acqua di Parma Colonia, which was released in 1916. The original was intended to use on handkerchiefs, which were to be tucked inside gentlemen's gloves. It's a very old fragrance. The original DNA, has got very little. It carries a little legacy of that original DNA. The three flankers to the original ADC, Acqua di Colonia. Acqua di Parma Colonia was released in 2003. It was called Assoluta. Followed by Intensa, released in 2007. And the last flanker was released in 2010, which is Acqua di Parma Colonia Essenza, which has got a predominant neroli note. So this fragrance, how does this start off? Off the top, you will get a huge burst of lemon, and bergamot with very zesty ginger and nicely done cardamom. So spicy ginger and cardamom with very zesty lemon and sprightly bergamot. That's what you get. Off the very first spray, it fills you with happiness. Literally, it makes me very happy. This fragrance has got this quality to invigorate you, and it's one of my fragrances that is my go-to if I am going for an important customer meeting, if I am dealing one-to-one with a very important stakeholder. This is what I depend on. There are quite a few, but that's why I buy travel packs, because when I'm on business travel, I carry this, because this scent for me has got a quality which gets you into the mood to be your very best. Literally, and I'm speaking from experience. This is my third bottle, I think, and it's been always one of my staples in my important business meeting fragrances. You take one sniff of this and you will know why. It's invigorating, uplifting, extremely classy, very sophisticated. That's why I use the word deeply gratifying. It gives you more every time you wear this. So middle, you hit the middle in about 15 minutes. So the middle of the fragrance is woodier. So what they've done is they've used two notes which are used predominantly in a manly fragrance. One is artemisia, wormwood, herbal, woody smell. Yeah? And the other one, which is a lesser used note, known as myrtle. Myrtle has this aromatic, herby smell. It's basically a hedge shrub used a lot in Western Europe. If you have one in your house, you would know how myrtle smells. So those two are the, the primary ingredients. There is also a note of neroli, which is always staying in the background. Now, how they have done this is beyond me, because neroli is a very overpowering smell. Orange blossom, very strong fragrance, and it tends to dominate fragrances, and that's what you'll see in ADP Colonia Intensa, which is where the neroli really comes out. It surges ahead of everything. Here, well in the background, very restrained, very nicely done fragrance, so well blended. It's just, it is artistic. It's beautiful. The dry down is where the fragrance takes on a more manly sort of incarnation. There's a note of leather with some gaiac wood, cedar wood, and predominantly those two woods and leather note. So it becomes more woody and leathery with the ginger, slight ginger, and cardamom and neroli staying in the background. But cardamom, neroli, and woods and leather is what you will get in the dry down. The dry down phase is where the lemon turns into a bit of an orange fruit, and you'll get whiffs of that orange fruit coming through late in the dry down fragrance. So all in all, it's a beautiful fragrance. It really is. You have to sample this. If you're a professional who deals with very important stakeholders, who is an important person in his organization, this is a fragrance that I highly recommend, because it is classy, sophisticated. It gives out the vibes of somebody with gravitas, but isn't overpowering. Yeah? Very amicable. Now, the performance of this fragrance, I think, always has been 6 to 8 hours. I go 4 sprays under my shirt, and it lasts me till next day. Yeah. If I want people to smell me, I go 2 under my shirt, 2 on side of each of my collar. What that does is the top notes of the lemon, the bergamot, the ginger, and cardamom stays for longer if you go 1 on each collar. This is not a screamer, hence you will see that people about 2 yards away will smell you for the first 1.5 hours, maybe 2. It has got a strong sillage. You know, when I go 4 sprays under my shirt, I can smell this. I can get whiffs of it all work day. You know, if you go on your wrist, 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours. This is strong enough to wear in winter. Although in winter you will smell the leathery note a bit more. In summer you will smell the citrusy, lemony notes a bit more. Ideal for all weather. You can carry this in any weather. I have tested this over a period of about 5 or 6 years, and I can vouch for this fragrance and its sophisticated quality. It's one of the best investments if you want something for your work. We'll come to occasions in a minute. In terms of sillage, as I said, medium to strong sillage. Longevity and projection, medium to good. Value for money. Now this is a 50 ml bottle. It'll cost you about anywhere between 60 to 70 pounds, so it's not cheap. If you go for the larger bottles, you'll probably get it cheaper. The only reason I buy smaller bottles is because I want to travel with this one. It's one of my go-to staple fragrances when I'm on business travel. Fits in beautifully into my luggage bag. That's the whole reason I buy the smaller bottles. Occasions. From experience, it goes beautifully in work environments, especially if you hold a position of authority, especially if you're in public relations. It gives out a very beautiful aura. Beautiful aura. So terrific work scent. Date. Because of ginger and cardamom used with leather, it's an ideal summer date fragrance. And in the evening time, this will last longer on your skin than, let's say, 4 hours that you will get during the daytime. High summer heat, beautiful for high summer heat. Clubbing, I don't think I'll waste it on clubbing. Slightly expensive, so if you wanted to go, let's say, casual, meet your friends kind of fragrance, you can do so. Depends on your personal circumstances. So highly versatile fragrance as well. So ranking and marks, I would say the only marks I'll take one mark off because of various other factors, like doesn't last as longer as an EDP would last. For example, let's say on skin, let's say 8 hours. Doesn't last for 8 hours. But under your shirt, it'll last all day. On your shirt, it'll last all day, probably till the next day. So just taking one mark off, 9 out of 10. Easy 9 out of 10. Give this a shot. It's a safe buy. I wouldn't say blind buy, but do test it out. But once you test it out, you'll be hooked. This is a fragrance that will always be there for me. I think it's a beautiful fragrance. So hopefully you like the review, and if you do give it a like, do subscribe. And once again, thank you and namaste. See you again. Bye bye.